Hey there, crafty friend. Suzanne here in the studio today with a little more card play. Yes, we're going to pull out some older stamps. We're going to pull out some older paper. We're going to pull out some older cards and card bases, and we're going to make cards. These cards are based on some that were demonstrated in Karen Titus's occasional event that she has called Card Play. So let's get to it. Here from 2020 is the Parisian Blossom Specialty Designer Series paper. And this is specialty paper because it has sort of a gold foil accent. The colors here are basic black, cherry cobbler, petal pink, pool party, and whisper white. Now, the primary stamp set that goes with this is the Forever Blossoms. You can see the pretty cherry blossom here. And then there are cherry blossom dies. Unfortunately, I got the dies secondhand, and that means it turns out one of the dies was incorrect. It was from a different set, but that's what happens when you get it on the cheap. Okay, so those were the main stamp sets here for the images. And then I pulled out some stand-alone dies as well. The Gorgeously Made dies and the Spotlight on Nature dies, as well as some butterfly dies from Close to My Heart. Okay, for other images and mostly for sentiments, I'm also using Postage Due, Happiness Surrounds, Heal Your Heart, Flowing Fountain, and Keeping Tabs. As far as card bases, I knew that I had some Pool Party card bases in my stash, and they were the Pool Party and Soft Seafoam cards and envelopes. And there were 20 of these, and half of the bases are in Soft Seafoam, which I did not use yet. And then the other are in Pool Party, and you can see the Pool Party is used to line the envelopes as well. So that helps to make for quick cards as well. Okay, first let me zoom in, and then let's start with looking at the actual cards. Here's the first one. Starting out kind of simple. We have 3 panels, and then a cross bar there. And then we have double punched with the modern oval punch. And then I've stamped my sentiment as well as a little flower there. It's pretty. And then these gems are from Stampin' Up's Fine Sparkle Adhesive Back Gems. So those came in 4 colors. And Pool Party was one of them. I actually store these, and I just recently started doing this. One of the other former Close to My Heart makers had started putting some of these in little passport holders, which I thought was a good idea, but I didn't really want to go out and buy something new. And also, some of these Stampin' Up embellishments come in even larger items. So I had a bunch of these 5x7 die pockets that I didn't use for dies. In fact, I don't think they're quite strong enough for dies. They probably are. That's similar to what Stampin' Up uses, but I decided to go ahead and I'm going to use these for my Stampin' Up embellishments. So I can put a little basket of those on my desk and be able to flip through them. Okay, so there's the first one. Next up, here we have just cut 2 panels the same size and put them on a double stack of cardstock. I think the trick here is to make sure you get the points of the papers to just hit this black frame, and then it makes it look like it fills the frame, but it's still got a nice balance of this background showing through. And then here, Surround Yourself with Happiness. That is stamped on the story label punch. It's real cute. So that turned out real pretty. A couple of blossoms inside. Next up is this one. Sending Positive Thoughts. Since we've got the bicycle here, this is actually from the Postage Due stamp set. Remember this one? And again, I've just used a small portion of this pattern and cut it down to size. So there's a tip for you. Just because it's a big stamp doesn't mean you need to use all of it. And then we've got the frame. I didn't have the Stampin' Up set that they had, so I had to go to my stash to find something about the right size. So I found this little film strip, and I thought that looked great. Pretty cute. I wasn't totally satisfied with this card because we've got pattern, pattern, solid, solid pattern. And ideally, I like to go back and forth. So I did it again. Here is the second version. So here we have pattern, solid, pattern, solid, pattern. Of course, I had to add this extra solid piece in here to have a place to put my sentiment. But still, I think I like this version better. Maybe just because it has more flowers on it, who knows. And then inside, I did a couple of the stamps. Here's the next one that really showcases that beautiful image from the Forever Blossom stamp set. I've got a scrap here of gold foiled cardstock that was in my scraps, and I've cut it with the, I believe it was the 2.5 inch circle punch. And then this die was that one that I told you was included in the wrong set. And then I have done double of these, and then I have colored them with blends. And for this green here, I actually used, I believe this is Soft Succulent, because I didn't want to just use the Pool Party because I thought it was going to look too blue. So Soft Succulent is a nice complement to the Petal Pink and the Pool Party. And then here, our sentiment is on the Tailored Tag Punch. I think that's really pretty with this layer of vellum. Okay, the next one also has vellum on it. It's a little more complicated. I think this might be the prettiest card of the session. Here we have that gold cardstock again, and then the layer of vellum. And then these are 9 approximately 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 inch squares that have all been glued down and then embossed. And for embossing on this and one of the other cards, I used the Quatrefoil Tile embossing folder. And then I cut the circle out with the Spotlight on Nature. And you can see we've got that little pattern around the edge. And then this sprig is from the Gorgeously Made die set. And then here we have the With Sympathy was on the washi tape punch. And here you'll notice I have actually punched this on out of paper, pattern paper, and not just cardstock. So I think that really balances nicely with this. So this might be my favorite card. 2 really pretty ones. Okay, this next one was an interesting design. And here we've embossed again, and then we have 2 different pattern papers. And then we have these sprigs. These are both from the Gorgeously Made. This one's out of a gold foil, which almost looks a little too coppery to go with this. And then I've punched some itty bitty blossom blooms, or bitty blooms, using that punch and adding that. And then they originally had this scripty sentiment actually going through the middle, and I thought that was totally going to get lost because I had such a busy die. So I think this is a little better, still probably too busy. So I tried it again. Like I said, never be afraid to try it again. So here's how it came out the next time. Here we still have the 2 sprigs, but one of them is tone on tone on this cardstock that I didn't emboss this time. And then I've used these stamped and colored flowers. And then the With Sympathy, again, is on the washi tape, punched out shape. So I do like that one better. Here we go. This one is deceiving at first. Doesn't this look like it is an envelope card where you just pull out the insert? It is not. It is actually, the card just opens up. And here you've cut the front panel on the diagonal and then flipped it over in order to attach it. And then here we have two different punches. We have the, what punch is that? That is the Labeled with Love punch. And layered on top of that is the 1 3/8 inch scallop punch. Oops, excuse me. And then a couple little gems. It's always fun to layer punched shapes, I think. So there's that one. Next up, this one is very pretty. This was a tearing technique, and if you watch my channel for very long, you know I don't really like how messy tearing can look. So here, there's actually a jagged edge die in the Gorgeously Made die, so I used that to cut my layers. And then I punched this time on cardstock. And then added a little extra blends for emphasis. And then we've got our gems again. All right, and then last but not least, they were using some of the new beautiful butterfly products from Stampin' Up, and I did not have that, but I did have this die from Close to My Heart. So here we have the behind, we have the pretty floral, and then this top layer, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, is actually shimmer white from Stampin' Up. I had been using this for some other projects a few weeks back, and I still had some left, so we have it there. Again, we have two punches. Here on the top is the Darling label, and then underneath that, again, is the Labeled with Love. So I have used quite a few punches. I think this is really pretty. Okay, I will put up a photo of all of these, and I hope you've enjoyed watching this. I think the next thing I want to do is, because I still have 10 of these soft seafoam envelopes and card bases left, is to, I'm sure I probably have some kind of Stampin' Up! Pattern paper that uses the soft seafoam. So I hope you'll come back and see that next edition of Card Play. As always, I appreciate your time and attention. Bye for a bit.